On a dark, rainy night in 1986, a young woman vanishes without a trace. No sign of struggle, no witnesses, and no concrete leads. The only thing left behind was her car. But what happened to Kimberly Moreau? The mystery of her disappearance has baffled investigators and kept the public intrigued for over 3 decades. Could this have been a case of a random disappearance? Or is something more sinister at play here? This is the story of Kimberly Moreau, a young woman with a bright future who left behind everything and was never seen again. And today we're diving into one of the most perplexing unsolved disappearances in recent American history. Kimberly Ann Moreau was just 17 years old when she disappeared from the small town of Maine. A senior in high school, Kimberly had dreams of becoming a teacher and living a peaceful life. By all accounts, she was a loving daughter, a good friend, and a motivated student. She was known for her quiet demeanor, but also for her infectious smile. She wasn't the type of person to just run away or disappear. On the night she went missing, Kimberly had been out with friends, attending a local event in town. It was the night of May 10th, 1986, the eve of Mother's Day. Kimberly, after leaving the party, was expected to return home later that evening, but she never made it back. Kimberly's last known sighting occurred late that night. She was seen leaving her friend's house around 2 a.m. Her car was later found abandoned on the side of a desolate stretch of road, Route 4, just outside of town. When her car was found, there were no signs of foul play. The doors were locked, the lights were off, and there were no signs that she had been in any kind of struggle. The keys were still in the ignition, and her purse was inside. Everything appeared to be in order, except for one thing. Kimberly was nowhere to be found. As the days passed, the investigation began to unfold, but nothing was adding up. Local police, along with the state authorities, launched an extensive search across the area, hoping to find any trace of Kimberly. But the search turned up nothing. No witnesses, no leads, and no physical evidence that could explain her disappearance. Even stranger, there were no signs that anyone had ever taken her car. It seemed as though Kimberly had vanished into thin air. Theories about what could have happened began to surface. Some believed Kimberly may have been kidnapped. Others thought she had gotten into an accident and was in some sort of remote location, injured and unable to call for help. But the more they searched, the more questions arose. If she was in a car accident, why was there no sign of the vehicle leaving the road? The case took a troubling turn when investigators began looking into Kimberly's personal life. At the time of Kimberly's disappearance, one name kept resurfacing: her ex-boyfriend, who had recently been in the picture. He was known to have had a tumultuous relationship with Kimberly, and some speculated that he might have been involved in her disappearance. But after questioning him extensively, the police could not find any concrete evidence linking him to the case. He passed a polygraph test, and there was no sign of foul play in his history. Still, his behavior around the time of her disappearance raised suspicion. Could he have been hiding something? Or was he simply an unfortunate person to be dragged into a web of mystery? Another person of interest was a local man with a history of troubling behavior, but his involvement never materialized into anything substantial. As for Kimberly herself, there was no sign that she had been planning to leave town. All of her belongings were left behind, and there was no indication of her ever having made arrangements to go anywhere. Despite all the years of investigation, the biggest question remains: where did Kimberly go? Was she taken by someone she knew, or did she get into the wrong car that night? And if she was kidnapped, why has no one come forward with any information? In the decades that followed, the case grew colder. New theories emerged, but none had solid evidence to back them up. Some even speculated that Kimberly might have been involved in a secret life, perhaps running away on her own, though nothing in her background pointed to that. In recent years, the case has been revisited by law enforcement and independent investigators. New DNA evidence and more advanced forensic techniques have allowed for reanalysis of old clues, but still nothing concrete has come from these new efforts. Some believe Kimberly may have met with foul play at the hands of someone close to her, while others think the explanation might be something far stranger. Could the truth be buried beneath decades of mystery? As recently as 2021, The case of Kimberly Moreau was revisited and new leads were brought to light, but the case still remains unsolved. The disappearance of Kimberly Moreau remains one of the most haunting mysteries in the state of Maine. A case with no answers, no closure, and no certainty about what happened that fateful night in 1986. Perhaps the truth is out there, hidden in the shadows, waiting for the right person to uncover it. And as long as the questions remain, Kimberly's story lives on, a cold case that still grips the hearts of those searching for the truth. Thank you for watching. If you found this story intriguing, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more unsolved mysteries and investigations. Stay tuned. The truth might be closer than we think.